I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
Well, I'm sure you remember Winston Churchill, the iconic British Prime Minister known for his leadership during World War II. He had quite a few peculiar habits. And one of those, the funniest habits he had was that it was his daily routine and his attachment to taking baths. You know, he was renowned for his long baths, hot baths, and he considered that time very special. That was his relaxation time, that was his connecting time, and it was also, interestingly enough, a part of his working day. He would often hold important meetings while he was in the tub. I swear this is true. He would invite staff members, military advisors, and sometimes give instructions and hear reports while he's in the bathtub. There's on one occasion when he was staying at the White House, during a visit to confer with President Franklin D. Roosevelt, he continued to do his work from the tub. Unbeknownst to Roosevelt, when he was wheeled in to visit Churchill, he found Churchill in the bathtub, right? And so as Roosevelt was wheeled into the bathroom, Churchill stood up and he said, "The Prime Minister of Great Britain has nothing to hide from the President of the United States." That's really characterized Churchill's unconventional style of working and his humorous approach even to the most formal alliances. Oh my goodness. And you can kind of imagine what kind of a leader he must have been and how much fun he would have been around. Churchill developed this habit of taking hot baths numerous times during his day, and it kind of makes me think that was his meditation time, right? That was being in that hot tub made him feel comfortable, made him feel relaxed, allowed him to be able to be present for the meetings that he was in. Wow. So we're going to talk about habits today. Now, I don't encourage you to have such a habit, but what we're going to talk about is what kind of habits can we embrace, embody, can we bathe in that will influence our lives and the way that we experience the fullness of who we are. He just has to remind us, what a great place to read. Can you imagine the bathtub? So today we're beginning a 5-week series that I'm calling Atomic Habits for Spiritual Evolution. And I'm taking inspiration from this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear, and I am applying spiritual habits and ideas from this best-selling book into my series of talks to help us develop some habits that can change, transform, and enlighten and brighten our lives. Are you interested? Yes. All right. Well, then stay tuned. My talk today is titled Small Steps, Big Changes, Harnessing the Power of Atomic Habits. James Clear defines an atomic habit as a small, minuscule, tiny habit that is as powerful as an atom. The idea is that an atom is a building block of pretty much everything. And by using these little tiny things, these little tiny habits that we're going to talk about today, and through this series, we can have an amazing impact on our life, on the world, and on larger systems of habits. because these small changes, these atoms that we're going to develop will help us have profound impact in our lives. So my goal really in this talk is to encourage you to use affirmations as an atomic habit. And you go, oh, okay, well, I've known about affirmations forever. All right, well, I'm going to encourage you today to use some affirmations that I'm going to give you and give you the power to create your own and to create a habit, a tiny little habit of using an affirmation every day. And I believe by doing that, we're going to open ourselves up to developing even more powerful habits that will explode from this atom, from this tiny atom seed that we're planting today. You know, why would somebody create a habit of using affirmations? Anybody ever heard affirmations? Anybody ever used affirmations? Right? Every day. We know, most of us have been in the New Thought stuff for a long time. We know that affirmations are powerful. They're powerful tools that help us express the truth of who we are. I like to think of affirmations as gentle whispers to our souls. Right? They're sacred conversations that we have with ourselves, right? And what makes them so powerful is when we connect with the allness, the presence of Spirit, of God, of love, whatever you want to call this amazing force, this energy. When we connect with this energy and we open our hearts and minds, we can discover what we really want to be, what it is that Spirit desires for us, and by using affirmations, bring it into manifestations. So, affirmations give us a spiritual boost, don't they? Because they remind us of who we are, and it's almost like it's science, right? It's science that we use to pull in this energy to lift us up and give us the power, the strength, the love, the wisdom, the truth to experience the fullness of who we are. And we know that when we regularly practice anything, it becomes a part of our DNA, part of our consciousness. And I really think that's what we are all about, those of us in that share this like-mindedness, is about tapping into that presence so that we can be the fullest of who we are, right? Don't you want that, right? You know, life, I've noticed that life offers us lots of opportunities and some challenges. You ever notice that? Right? And so what the spiritual truth that we're about does is give us the tools to help to work through the challenges in a profound and enlightening way, right? And isn't that why we do this? Don't you know that we all face challenges in our lives, with our health, with aging, with wanting peace. And if we connect with that essence within us, we can pull forth from that the truth that wants to be experienced in and through and as us. So James Clear in this book gives us a 4-step process that he calls the habit loop. And we're going to look at that habit loop today. And it sounds foreign, but you're going to recognize as soon as we start talking about it that it is the process that we use and the power that we use when we create and use affirmations. So I'm going to encourage you to use affirmations and have them become an atomic habit in your life. So the 4 steps include craving, a cue, a response, and a reward. So let's imagine that we're creating an affirmation, and we could do this about anything, right? When we create affirmation, we may want to be more prosperous, more loving, more powerful, more forgiving, or more confident, right? So nobody agrees. All right. I'm just making sure you haven't fallen asleep yet. Because I have electrodes in the seats. So if I see you sleeping, I'm going to get an immediate response when I push the button of your chair right here. So don't you dare fall asleep. Okay, so let's say we're going to create an affirmation to become more confident in all that we do. So we're going to use this 4-step habit loop to do so, right? So the first step is craving. Now, the craving is the desire that's at the root of what we want, right? In this case, it's to be more confident. It could be more loving, more powerful, more intelligent, more wise, could be anything, but we're going to use that as the thing that we're craving. Ever had a craving for something? Right? Didn't you think about this in a sense when you created an affirmation? Right? It's like that was the root desire that led you to create the affirmation, right? There was something that you wanted, right? Okay, so that is the craving. So, and the next step in this 4-step process is the cue. So what we're going to talk about is coming up with a cue that's going to cue us to say our affirmation, right? And so I'll invite you to sort of look at your day and to think of a time, a place, an activity that you do that maybe is a habit or is something that you do every day, right? And you're going to use that as the cue to remind you to say your affirmation. For me, it's having a cup of coffee in the morning, right? How many of us have tea or coffee or water or juice or something in the morning? So I think this is a great time to do an affirmation, right? Because you're centered, you're in that great place of having a cup of coffee. Can you just feel what that feels like? Huh? Is that like the best? To me, that first cup of coffee in the morning is like the best thing on earth, right? I love that. I live for that. The first thing that I do when I slip out of bed in the morning is head to the coffee pot and turn that on, right? And it's something that I do every morning. It's a ritual that I do. It's a habit that I do every morning. So a cue is a link to a habit, right? So I'm going to suggest that you pick, a cue that works for you. It could be drinking your morning coffee or your morning tea. It could be doing something, having your lunch. It could be having your dinner. But I like the beginning of the day because it sort of sets the precedent for how the rest of the day is going to go. Yeah? So that is the cue. And just for then the response is the affirmation. It's an action requiring a specific step. And so in this point, it's the response then is to do your affirmation. And because we're talking about confidence, I created an affirmation just to fill in for the example that we're talking about today. So the affirmation that I created is, I am confident, capable, and strong. I welcome all challenges as opportunities to grow. Can you see how that would help you to build confidence, right? Because you're affirming that not that it's happening tomorrow, but it's happening when? Right now. It's happening right now in this moment. And that's where affirmations have their power, because we're accessing that energy right now, right? And that energy is part of the motivation to create an affirmation, because it's from that energy, from that vibration, that we then adapt whatever it is that we want to embrace, embody. So I invite you just to think for a second if you'd like to become more confident. And just think about what that might feel like to be more confident. Just kind of breathe into that feeling to be more. Anybody that wouldn't want to be more confident? Anybody doesn't have enough confidence to raise your hand? So let's just play with it for a minute and just pause and feel what it's going to feel like to be more confident. And let's embrace this example because I think it fits for everyone. And so feeling what it's going to feel like, let's say this affirmation together. Are you ready? Let's do it. I am confident, capable, and strong. I welcome all challenges as opportunities to grow. How's that feel? Do you get a feeling for that right away? Right? You do, don't you? It might be slight, but it is a feeling, right? And that feeling is the reward, right? That feeling is the immediate reward that is going to be enlarged as you continue saying this affirmation to be the essence of who you are. Because remember, we're having this dialogue with our higher self. We're inviting our higher self, our truth, our wisdom, our power into this idea, into this truth. We're embracing it, knowing that it's true. And so this feeling increases the more we say affirmations, because it's kind of like an affirmation sort of calls in that truth, and it pushes everything else aside that isn't related to that, right? And so the beauty is that as we keep doing this work, there's less and less resistance until finally we get to the place where we are confident. There is no doubt, no fear, no hesitation, no obstacles to this truth. Change your habits, change your life. By changing even the smallest habit, even by embracing this tiny habit, you can change your life. And through this series, we're going to look at, how can we not only embrace other habits, because we're going to tie other habits to this habit, and to really call in the truth of who we are. And we're also going to look at what do we do with habits we don't like? How can we kind of push those aside so they don't have the importance or monopolize our time or energy? And we're going to do that in further talks. You're probably going, thank God he's not going to talk about that today. And there are challenges. Admittedly, there are challenges to creating a new habit, right? Your mind may already be saying, you know what? I don't have time for one more thing in my life. I don't have time, my time, my cup of coffee time, true for me, is time where I look at the news, when I look at YouTube and see what's happening with all my friends and some who aren't my friends. But it's, so it's easy to say, I don't have time for that. But I'm telling you what, I'm going to make you a promise. This habit that I'm going to introduce to you today, and the way to do it is only going to take 2 minutes a day. Anybody have 2 minutes a day? Yeah. So another thing that can make it difficult is overcoming old patterns. To create a new habit, I have to say, all right, I'm going to give this new habit more importance than looking at YouTube videos in the morning or seeing what the news is. So that sometimes creates some resistance. And I think human beings innately have a resistance to change, right? Because, I'm trying to think of somebody made a great quote one time. I'm not sure I can pull it up, access my file, but it's like, there's a resistance in us to doing something new and different, even though it's amazing, right? Because part of us are afraid of doing something new, right? For some ridiculous reason, we have that fear, right? When if we can look at doing something new as something exciting and something powerful, and we can embrace it rather than giving it the energy of resistance, we can accomplish amazing things. But that's a topic for another talk. So, and sometimes we can have the lack of motivation and patience. And what often happens when some people do affirmations is they affirm the affirmation and they think it's going to happen right now, right? And they're discouraged because it might take 2 or 3 or 10 or 20 or 100 times saying an affirmation to reprogram the old habits and the old beliefs in our subconscious, right? It takes time. If you look at how much time it took you to develop the not so effective thoughts and habits, I don't believe it takes that much time to get rid of them, but it sometimes takes time and it takes work, and it's easy to lose our patience with it. And so the beauty of what we're about today is how can we create a habit that we do every day, and that's why we're tying it to something we do in the morning. And then there can be distractions and interruptions. You know, I tried doing my affirmations while I had my YouTube page up on my computer, right? And before I knew it, I'm watching some video, and it's like, oh no, I'm supposed to be doing my affirmations. So you got to shut the computer and do it. So there can be distractions. And what I'm hoping to do with you today is to encourage you to let all that stuff just go and focus on the new habit. It's only going to take 2 minutes a day to do something new. And so you're saying, okay, how can I do that? Well, I've got it right here somewhere. Here it is. You know, every week I create a walk your talk, right? It's 1 or 2 pages of outlining everything I talked about, right? So hopefully you'll take it home and work on it. And I've got a video camera set up there to see who takes it and who doesn't, right? And I'm working on social media, you know, and AI to send you messages and videotapes of yourself walking by, you know, and like it's not important. You know, I spent hours doing this stuff, right? Today, you get 2 pages of Walk Your Talk outlining everything I'm talking about today. And yeah, and if you don't take it, just watch out. I'm kidding, of course. I wish I had that much power. So along with this, I also have a sheet that I created, which is an affirmation and a short reading, right? So you don't even have to look this stuff up on the internet. And actually, all of the affirmations that I'm suggesting and the phrase comes from this week's daily word. So you can find it all in the daily word, or you can take this along with you and use it every morning, and it's only going to take 2 minutes. 2 minutes to say this affirmation a couple times, and then to read the small paragraph to help you set the tone. Because what we're looking at right now is setting the tone for our whole day. And I know you're here because you want to have the most productive, powerful days you can have, don't you? You want to be at peace, you want to be loving, you want to be practicing the principles that we teach. And so my goal is to make it very easy for you to do that. All right. Oh, and also I have to say too that, you know, we're going to start small. I invite you to prioritize and schedule the time. It's only going to take 2 minutes, and I invite you to personalize your practice. right? You don't have to use the affirmation and the reading that I'm giving you. If there's something else that's working for you that is better than this stuff, which I can't imagine, then I encourage you to, certainly do your own work, use an affirmation that's working for you right now. But the important thing is to make a habit of it. And we know that consistency matters. What we do on a regular basis creates new neural pathways in our mind, in our body, in our spirit that empowers us to embrace the truth of who you are, of who we are. So imagine, if you will, one of the greatest leaders of the 20th century conducting war strategies and shaping the fate of nations while soaking in a bathtub. It's a kind of a humorous image, isn't it? Churchill showed us it's not where or what you're doing that defines your capacity for greatness. It's what you do in the moment. In a similar vein, this 2-minute affirmation practice that I'm introducing today might not require a bathtub, doesn't need you to be part of some grand sweeping gesture, just to spend 2 minutes a day. In doing so, you have the power to transform your life and create a small habit that we are going to embellish in the weeks to come to give you greater spiritual fulfillment, a greater connection with the divine, a greater essence of who you are, and to be able to bring that forward into your life in powerful ways that can transform the world, your life, and all life. So, after all, if we can't learn anything from Churchill's unconventional method, it is that the best thing we can simply do is to roll up our sleeves and jump in and use the 2-minute practice I'm giving you today. Namaste. Oh. And I'll send you all a picture of Churchill in the bathtub. But don't send me your pictures. Today, I choose habits that empower me. Let's say it together. Today, I choose habits that empower me. Change your habits, change your life. Let's join together in meditation. I invite you to close your eyes and to breathe into this moment. Breathing in, breathing out. And to feel the energy that we've created this morning. The energy of light and love that's present right here, right now. To feel the energy of transformation. To feel the energy of the presence of spirit that is the essence of who you are. It's breathing you. It's loving you. It's empowering you. Breathing in. It's breathing out. And maybe you can identify some desire that you have. A desire to be more peaceful. A desire to be more loving, or a desire to be more present. A desire to be more compassionate, desire to be more spiritual. Whatever it is, I invite you to bring your awareness and just hold this idea, this seed, this atom of possibility in your consciousness. To imagine that atom, that idea is growing like an atomic reaction, spreading through every cell, every space, every tissue, every thought, every feeling, spreading through your body, your mind. Feel the essence of who you are. Feel this connection with your higher self, your unity with all you are. And let's just embrace this thought, this feeling for a moment in the silence. Breathing in and breathing out. I invite you to gently and slowly begin to bring your awareness back to this moment. Beginning to see the light through your eyelids, opening your heart, embracing this moment as you bring your awareness back to it. And I invite you to open your eyes when you're ready. So I invite you at this time to prepare your tithes and your love offerings. And just to thank you in advance for who you are, what you bring, and what you share with us, and what you share with the world. I believe that we're all peace emissaries, that we're all here on this planet, to bring love, to bring peace, to bring joy. So, and as you prepare your gift today, I invite you to consider what is your gift? What are you here to give, to share? Is it love? Is it being peaceful? Is it being joyful? Is it to share your consciousness through music? Through being the essence and the truth of who you are? How is Spirit calling you to express itself through you? I invite you to feel what that feels like. What is it you're here to give? What is it you're here to be? In this moment, we're asking for your energy, your prosperity energy, your energy of money, because the energy of money is something that we trade, right? We trade it with each other, with this Unity Church of Maui, because we love what it offers us. And I believe that as we're involved in this universal exchange of energy, it lifts us up to experience the fullness of who we are. And in the same way, we're enlightened, we're empowered, and we are attracting to us in the same way and in different ways that which we offer to the world. So I invite you, as you hold this energy today, that that you hold it in love and light, and let's affirm this prosperity affirmation together. Let's say it together. Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Namaste. Mahalo. So grateful for the World Peace Singers to be here today and to share their gift with us. And Harry, I am grateful to you for accompanying. I don't know how you got that idea, but that was so perfect. You know, you see what I mean? You practice this stuff and it shows up right away. You all are all so beautiful. Thank you for sharing with us today. All right. So let's give thanks. Loving Spirit, thank you for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we embrace them, we give thanks for them, knowing that they're moving in and through this ministry, through our lives. And we see this energy of light and love moving out into the world. And we know that this energy of love is greater than any other force. And we see our planet bathed in this love. Much like Churchill, bathed in the comfort of love and peace. I just channeled that. Churchill just spoke to me and said, you know, you got to mention my name one more time. So thank you, loving Spirit, for this great work. Thank you for us to have these gifts, to be a part of this energy of love. May we go forth with love and light and joy to do our part to bring peace to the world. And so it is. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. All right. I have just a couple announcements today. Thank you. If you'd like to sign up to bring flowers. Oh, actually, Brad brought this amazing orchid in today. And he said that he thinks we might have given him, Unity might have given him one of these orchids a few years ago. And so he kept it with one of his. I think we might have given him the purple one, and I think the yellow one he got somewhere else. And he said he didn't know what to do with them, but he kept them on his patio and he watered them, right? And miraculously, they decided to bloom at the same time. Wow! Isn't that amazing? It's like, oh, you guys. So it's like they're communicating with each other. And, they said, okay, shall we do it now? Shall we bloom now? I know it's been a couple years. Here they are. Thank you, Brad, for offering these amazing gifts today. And if you'd like to bring flowers on a Sunday, there's a sign-up sheet in the back. Just sign up, put your name down. And if you'd like to dedicate the flowers that you bring to someone, put that down too, and I'd be happy to mention that up here on Sunday morning. And then the best part is you get to take them home with you. You don't get to take these home. Well, Brad does. Anyway, thanks, Brad. And next week, I continue the series on atomic habits for spiritual evolution. That guy just gets in everywhere, doesn't he? Have you ever smoked a cigar and taken a bath at the same time? It's kind of inspiring, isn't it? Oh, okay. So next week we're going to talk about rewiring your brain for spiritual bliss, and we'll look at how can we combine. I'm going to combine some neuroscience into next week's talk, as well as atomic habits, and we'll look at how can we create spiritual bliss through our thinking, through new habits and new ways of looking at our habits that we'll talk about next week. So join us right here at 10 o'clock next Sunday. And like I said before, I have a walk your talk back there if you are desiring to participate with us in this exercise that I have invited you to do. And I think that is it for today. Oh, there was a hospitality committee meeting that I kind of put out to happen today. It's not going to happen today. So our hospitality committee is kind of being reformed and rehashed. So if you are interested in being on that committee, let me know, and we'll set a meeting up and talk about it. Kealoha is busily, I can see, preparing some hospitality right at this moment. So, and I smell coffee. So I invite you to venture on out there after the service, and I'm sure she's got some treats for us. So thank you, Kealoha. Let's give Kealoha a big hand. Thank you. Oh, Bob, just give Bob a hand on sound today. I can't hear you. Emily's trying to tell me something. Oh, thank you. Yes, thank you so much. Our friend and longtime choir leader here for a number of decades passed away yesterday, Kachina. And so let's keep her and her family in our thoughts and prayers for this time for them. So thank you for doing that. And I think that's all I have for today. Why don't we stand, and right where we are, we'll affirm the prayer for protection, and then we'll take a moment to spread out and create a circle around the perimeter, and we'll sing together the peace song. So for ourselves, for this ministry, for the world, let's affirm together the prayer for protection, which begins, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us wherever we are. God is. Thank you for being here today. God bless you. Let's form.
Where I live, they're all raised.